Public participation.
Good evening. I am Tom Connolly of 2 Gerald Road. I have 2 children in our public schools, and I ask this evening that a full inquiry be made into the possible malfeasance of the superintendent. I have a PhD from Tufts University and have been professor of English for over 20 years. But additionally, I've worked for the House Ways and Means Committee and most recently for the Office of the State Auditor. Anyone who has read the damning letter from the State Inspector General and the article in today's Reporter about the hiring of the business manager and/or assistant superintendent knows that the town of Marblehead and its school children are victims of what is either arrogant abuse of power or grotesque incompetence.
I'm going to interrupt you. Dr. Dulac is not here to defend himself.
That's irrelevant. I may suggest that that's irrelevant. I'm not making any personal discussion. I'm only talking about the office of the superintendent. I ask you to examine what the current superintendent has done, consider the superintendent's own assertion when speaking of our school finances, and I quote, "No one budgets to actuals," unquote, or his public explanation of why he dismissed a principal, again I quote, "It's personal," unquote. At the same meeting, he shoved his authority in our face when he said that the school principal in question, quote, "worked for him," unquote, rather than the people of Marblehead. In light of the failure of the override question for the Glover School, one wonders where the vision that the current superintendent constantly boasts of really is. He seems to have uprooted the Evelyn school community to serve his whim. What was the point of that? Did he have no idea how quickly the Glover School reconstruction might be coming? He endlessly offers philosophies and notions, but seems consistently daunted by day-to-day concerns. The current superintendent's arbitrary dismissals and appointments of staff suggest a regime whose watchword is lapdog. The current superintendent has created an atmosphere of intimidation and implicit fear. I call upon you, our school committee, to deliberate in the open. Do not resort to executive session. Do not force us to ask, what are you hiding? Our public schools have been in a bully's shadow too long. We have placed our trust in you. Be worthy of our trust for the sake of our town and for our children. I thank you.
Any other public participation?